Here is your Radio Theater Channel weekly podcast for download. The RTC still has the very best old-time radio on the live streaming. And if it's music you love, tune in to the RTC Music Channel, where this link and many others are on our website at oldtimeradiolisten.com. Now, here's Jim.
Welcome to the RTC Weekly Download. I'm your host, Jim Dolan. Today, we start off with some adventure with Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall in Bold Venture. This episode is called The Key to Death, and it's from 1944.
Bold Venture. Adventure, intrigue, mystery, romance, starring Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall. Together in the sultry setting of tropical Havana and the mysterious islands of the Caribbean. Bold Venture. Once again, the magic names of Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall bring you Bold Venture and a tale of mystery and intrigue.
Taylor, come here a minute.
How close can I get? I've been sitting on the arm of your chair. You've been using my hip pocket for an ashtray.
Look at this. Here in the newspaper.
Yeah, I've been looking at it. He's a doll. Out of a field of 50 contestants, Herman Hackenschmidt was today crowned Mr. Teaneck, New Jersey. Gee, what pretty teeth.
No, not the pin-up boy, this item. The one about the guy who inherited $100,000 from his Uncle Jerome.
100,000. What would you do if you had all that money, Slate?
Oh, I got it all planned. I'd take it to a bank, change it into small bills, then run through it barefooted.
I'd do a nice barefoot polka on $5 bills, Slate. Am I invited?
On the $1 bill, Sailor, I wouldn't want you to...
Hold that pose, you two. It belongs in the winner's circle.
Well, look, Slate, it's the tiny man with a king-size baritone. How's the jockey dodge, Mickey?
Can't complain, Philly. At Oriental Park, they're betting me and not the quadrupeds. I own Havana.
That's a big package for a little man like you, Mickey.
Can you hear me okay, you two? My voice has got so far to go, from down here for me to up there to you.
Well, we'll listen close. What's on your mind?
I want you to... I said do me a favor, huh? About the key.
Why didn't I think of it myself? About the key. What key, Mickey?
Maybe I ain't talking loud enough, huh? The key for the locker at the Havana bus terminal.
Now we know, Sailor, the key for that locker. Huh?
I got a parcel checked there. I ain't got time to run down for it now.
Oh, it begins to dawn, Slate.
So, if I ain't back in a couple of days, you take care of it for me. You take it, Slade, and don't lose it.
I'll put it on my key ring. By the way, what's in the parcel?
Just some frayed riding silk, Slade. I'm so fond of 'em. If someone tried to take 'em away from me, I'd kill 'em. Kill 'em where it hurt.
Yeah. Where's a man going to get frayed riding silks these days?
A happy day to you both. You don't know how much you did for me.
Hiya, Millie.
How's old Red?
Come on in. You gonna stay long enough to sit down?
Can't do it, honey.
What about that jockey, Mickey?
Oh, look, Red, I've been chasing him all over town. He throws a look over his shoulder and runs.
How fast can he run with $100,000 on him?
Big kid, are you?
You've got to get that money, baby.
Jockey went into a place called Shannon's. He talked with a man for a long time, buddy kind of talk. And then cagey.
Did you get close enough to hear?
Oh.
And?
So I paraded so this man the jockey was talking to could see me. Got so I owned a corner of his eye. He'll remember me when he sees me again. He'll like me.
Be gentle with him, Millie.
Depends upon his mood.
Gentle. This guy knows anything about the 100,000, he might just wind up where the cats can look at him. So be nice. Pity him.
I'll see when I get there.
Look, Slate, why don't we just pick up Mickey's package and bring it home? Paying rental on it wasn't part of the agreement.
You heard what the little fellow said. Kill anyone who'd take his silk pants away from him. We'll leave him at the bus terminal. That way we can frolic without a care.
Sure. What's 20 centavos a day to a big man like you?
Oh, for 4 nickels a day, I stay alive. At the current rate, that's cheap. Besides, walking the Havana
like
streets...
this, it makes me hate myself. Hi, Shannon.
Huh? Oh, hi. I remember you from somewhere, stranger. Let's see, you were straightening a seam in front of my place yesterday. Yeah, same seam. You finally got it straight, huh?
That's not why I hate myself. It's just that I'm such an honest girl. I don't have the price of a dream, and I'm honest. Here, you dropped this.
What?
This $100 bill, you dropped it. All you have to do, Shannon boy, is believe you dropped that money and listen. You see how easy it is? $100 and no pain.
For $100, you can throw in a little pain. Who does he have to listen to?
It's written on the bill. Red wants to see you, Shannon.
Red, huh? You got a sister?
There's only one of me, Shannon. Red says it's easier for him to talk to people who have money. He says they listen better that way.
I'm a sucker for psychology, Millie. Let's go and let Red whisper in my ear.
No, without me, you don't.
Without you, sailor.
And without me, Shannon. You earn your dough in a lonesome way. That's how it is.
Yeah. Bye, girls. You made me a happy fellow, the both of you.
Hello. If your name's Shannon, you come right in.
Thanks. Who's he?
Can't miss him, can you? He's that big. Tell him your name, cabby.
Juan de Casco Cabrio, my name.
He wouldn't tell you, only I told him to. That right, cabby?
What do you say, senor?
You gonna give me some more money, Redhead?
Say, you noticed it, huh? My hair, red. But look right here, I'm losing it. It worries me.
What are you buying, Red?
Talk. I'm buying words like an editor.
Editor, I know what is that. Buys words.
Oh, he's a clever one.
Just chock full of IQs. Only not so smart as a jockey named Mickey Brennan. Shannon, baby, Mickey talked to you. What'd he say?
Well, let's see if I can remember. Oh, yeah, it was about horses, withers and quarters, hind and fore, teeth, age of, you know. You gonna give me another 100 for that?
You go to the movies, Shannon?
Not another 100, huh? Oh, I'm real disappointed, Red.
In the movies, they point guns. Like this. Think I did that good, cabby?
Bueno, good. Like in movies, just like. Fine.
I got time. Time, patience. Let's do it all over, Shannon. What'd the jock tell you? I gotta find out for a fella.
Mickey said Rover Boy in the 5th was a dog.
Cabby?
Si. Senor, do not struggle with Cabrio. Please, do not.
You know the language better than that, Shannon. What did Mickey say? No. Show him the second reel.
Put down that gun and I'd...
No more movies, Senor Red.
Yeah, not much fun either. The hero had a glass jaw.
King, if a girl walked up to you and gave you a $100 bill she said you dropped, what would you do?
What would I do? I'd say, King Moses, boy, don't cry, don't frown. Miss Santa Claus, she come to town.
Yeah, that's what I thought. What is it with men, King?
As it has always been, the money whispers.
In my day, a girl could catch a fellow's eye by dropping her handkerchief. But a C-note under his nose. Oh, it's a tired world.
Mr. Slate will come back to you, Lady Sailor. He has been gone often longer than this. He will come, touch the hurt from your mouth and...
Hurt? Did I hear somebody say hurt? Pretty word.
Yeah, you did. People hear words like that when they don't knock.
She's a cutie, ain't she, cabby?
As you say, Senor Red, a cutie, an hermosa.
Red, you must be the redhead Slate went calling on. You boys have fun?
It was crummy. A crummy time was had by all.
Where's Slate?
Me first, cutie. I ask things first. You had a caller the other day, Mickey Brennan. What pearls drip from Mickey Brennan's mouth?
We talked about horses. Let's see. Forelocks, Fetlocks?
You and Shannon ought to be in vaudeville, cutie. You got the same routines. Now I ask you with my hand on your tender arm. No answer breaks it.
Leave her alone, you. Take your hand from her.
Get his hands off me, Cabby. They're rough to the touch.
See, Senor Red? Come away, little boy. This is for grown-ups.
Let go. Let go.
Don't choke him to death, Cabby. Leave him some breath to live on. Well, cutie?
That's what you did to Slate, huh? Paid him $100 so you could sick Cabby on him and watch.
What's the matter, cutie? You jealous? Don't be jealous. I might tell Cabby to let it happen to you.
Cut it out, Head. Come on, come on. Stop it. Yeah. Yeah, that's better. That's nice.
Senor, you are awake, senor?
What? Huh?
I did not mean to disturb your sleep, senor, but Cabby likes to practice on the drum in his room.
Oh, then it wasn't my head.
Oh, no, senor. Was Cabby on the bongo. One day in regular orchestra play. You see, maybe even 4 pieces.
Help me up.
Oh, see. Come on. Do you see him in the corner, senor?
Mickey Brennan.
He's dead, senor. Killed dead.
Bullet holes where there used to be polka dots. Okay, Cabby, where am I? Where is this place?
Cabby's room, as I have explained. In Hotel Cavallo.
Cavallo? Where the bookies meet the jockeys by the sea. Red told you to keep me here, huh?
If you would try to walk through that door, I would beat you very bad.
Only this time no one's holding a gun on me.
No matter, I would beat you. Oh, senor, Cabby almost forget. Senor Red said to give you that which is yours. A wallet, key ring, little black book.
So if I'm found as a corpse, the police will know who should grieve for me. Thanks.
And there's $100 bill that is yours. $100? Senor Red said it was yours.
You said $100 like it hurt you.
Oh, mucho dinero. A lot of money. Nice things, silk things to buy.
Here, you can hold it a little while longer. Now go ahead, Cabby. Touch it, feel it. Go ahead.
Senor, see.
Yeah, feel this too.
Beat you.
Try this one on your bongo. Get up, Cabby. I got a real tricky rhythm I can show you.
See, I cannot. See, I try. I cannot. My head.
Oh, what a shame about your head. See you later, Cabby.
But you cannot go. Senor Red said to keep you here. He'll be angry. Kill you.
Back to Bold Venture. Our stars, Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall, and the second act of our story.
I tell you, I'm not hurt, Slate. King Moses was the one who had the bad time.
They hurt you, King?
It feel like I have long, thin neck where once I had short, broad one.
You'd better go gargle again, King.
In a little while. I wish now to look at you and enjoy the fact that you have not been harmed.
You don't know how lucky you are, sailor. That big guy could have broken you in half.
You know, it's a funny thing. The way Cabby looked at me, gently, like he was sorry for me. I almost had the feeling that if Red had told him to hurt me, he wouldn't have done it.
Oh, you're just a big dimple on the cheek of Havana, sailor. Children stop at play when they hear your name.
From age 16 on up, Miss Sailor.
Oh, fellas.
And you convinced him you didn't know anything about Mickey, huh? Well, look who's coming, the police.
They must have found Mickey dead. What are you going to tell them?
King will tell him. He'll gargle it at him. Let's hit the back alley, sailor.
I think you're out of your mind, Slate, coming here to the bus depot. It's the first place the police would look for you.
Sure, it's the first place they'd look for a common criminal, but I've taken great pains to build up a reputation in Havana. The way I figure it...
Give me a nickel.
What?
5 cents. I want to buy a paper to see if they spelled your name right. Thanks. Hey, look at this, Slate.
How do you like that? They picked up Cabrillo when they found Mickey, and Cabrillo implicated me. I guess I was right not waiting for cop talk.
But you're right in wanting to get Mickey's riding silks out of the locker, huh? A jockey's uniform in a locker. That's the greatest clue of all time.
Sherlock would drool at the mouth. I've got the key. Come on. Let's see. Here it is. Number 68. Now, let's see what's so important. Are they peeping at you too, sailor?
Holy, all that money. 10s, 20s, 50s.
Stop sniffing them, sailor. You'll tear them. Hey, let's get these beauties out of sight.
Any great ideas now, Slate?
Yeah. Listen to me. You told me Cabby looked at you like he liked you, didn't he?
I've seen the look before.
Get into that jail and talk to him. Find out what this is all about. Give the look back to him. Do something. Make him tell you now what he knows.
All right. What are you going to do?
Something that's just got to be done. I'll pick you up in front of the main monument. Well, don't just stand there, sailor. Your date's waiting for you in jail.
It was downright sweet of you, God, to let me see my little old Cabrio in his little old cell. I'll cherish the memory always. Don't bang a jail door on me, Chico. I'm a taxpayer.
Prison doors do not close with polite, senorita.
Hi, Cabby.
Buenos dias, senorita.
You don't even sound surprised to see me.
Oh, I am, senorita. But I do not know the words to express it. I am very ignorant.
On you, it's attractive.
Oh, you say that because I sit in the shadow. You cannot see my face. The hands that almost did hurt you.
Forget it, Cabby. The fellow has to make his way in the world somehow.
That is exactly how Senor Red talked to me.
Where is your buddy, pal? Why isn't he here holding your hand like a chum?
Oh, he could not do that, senorita. He took a powder. He and Senorita Millie. Or they take a nice powder together, those two.
And left you holding a great big bag with a dead jockey in it.
See, but they gave me company. Senor Shannon. So I would not be lonely with the bag all to myself.
Slate and I could be your friends, Cabby. All you'd have to do is tell us what this is all about. That way you could go free.
I tell you nothing. Senor Red say to tell nobody nothing, Cabby.
You could practice your bongo. Maybe even play with a 4-piece outfit. Slate told me how talented you were.
Aye, talented. 4 pieces. No, Senor Red say no, I say no.
You know how I got in to see you, Cabby? I told them I was your girl.
To see me? You say such a thing?
I'll be your girl, Cabrio. I'll come every night and listen to you on the bongo.
You say you my girl? Much money has been stolen by the jockey, and Senor Red wanted for a man.
What man?
I don't know what man. Go ask Joe Nevada, shooting gallery at Avenida Marquis. Ask him what man. Now go, senorita, before I beat you till you forget what I tell you.
Cops, murders, stolen money. A girl really lives the full, rich life with you, doesn't she, Slate?
Girls live how they want to live because they're made of sugar and spice. Girl told me that once.
You never told me about that one. You...
Quiet, sailor. Can't you see Mr. Nevada is concentrating? 3 bullseyes. Nice shooting, Nevada.
Glad it excited you. Lay down a quarter and you can pop off, too.
Still making book in the back of Havana's grocery slips, Nevada? That's your answer? That means yes, huh?
That means if you ain't got the price of admission, go away, kid.
Mickey Brennan stole things from people. Maybe you can tell me who, Nevada.
That one excite you, Shannon?
It sent quivers up his spine.
Sure did. Know a fellow named Red, Nevada? Wears a fellow named Cabby on his sleeve?
Look, kid, I could turn this 22 away from the ducks and make you ring a bell that'll call people to prayer.
Yeah. Let's go, sailor.
Where to now, Slate?
There's only one place left. The Hotel Cavallo. For a guy shot a jockey dead and then beat his funeral march on my head.
Don't hit me, senor. I am trying to explain.
All you've said so far is that you were the new clerk here at the Cavallo. You're not doing real good on your job, Chico.
Ask him again about the safe, Slate. Why such a big new one for such a small flea bag?
You heard it, Chico. I was here a while ago, and there was a small safe over there. What happened to it?
Yesterday, the tenants of the Cavallo opened the old one, and it gave back only a cold stare.
What tenant?
Those who live here, the bookies. Such a safe is much safer than a bank.
Don't you see, Slate? Bookies. They keep their money in this hotel safe. Think we've got enough, Slate?
Sure. Come on. Now, the way it looks, our jockey is a thief. Little Mickey heisted...
He sure did, Shannon. Now just keep walking, or the redhead's gonna blast you all over the pavement.
How does it feel to kill a jockey, Red?
A good feeling. I like it. Open the door. There's somebody here I want you to meet again. Millie, look what I brought you.
Wow. Slate Shannon. Mind if I blush with joy?
You can still think of a reason to blush, Millie?
Such nasty words for a girl who's almost dead.
You two have got one more chance. The $100,000, where is it?
I want to tell you something that'll worry you, Red. You had that money and you didn't know it.
What's he saying, Red?
Tell us, Shannon.
When you had me worked over, you should have taken a look at my key ring. One of the keys was for a locker. Locker, money.
Red, how does a man get as stupid as you? $100,000 like that. You had it in your fingers and you let it dribble through them.
Millie, you crazy? You're gone out of your mind? Millie, put away that gun!
Millie, don't you dare do what he says.
Turn around, Red. I said turn around. This is for now.
You see, Sailor, why I never turn my back on a girl?
As pistol whippers go, I think Millie did that quite well.
Give me the key, Slate.
All right, take it easy.
Give it to me. Mickey Brennan's dead because he stole that money. It's got to get back to me.
What about the guy it belongs to?
Forget about that. Give.
You gonna forget about me, Millie?
Hi, Nevada. Who's taking care of the shooting gallery?
Ducks are tired of being shot at. I put them to pond. Millie, are you gonna forget about me?
Look, Shannon's got the key. He knows where the money is.
Why's Red lying on the floor? Is he tired?
Millie made him tired with the butt end of a .45.
Ooh, what a tattletale.
You wanted that dough for yourself, Millie.
No, you've got to listen to me.
Sure, I will. Throw your gun away, Millie. On the floor. Throw it away. The dead girl said you had a key, Shannon. Let's go use it. To find $100,000. You know, I'm glad it's late. Not many people in the bus station. That's good. People ought to go to bed early. Keeps them out of trouble.
Mind if I ask you something?
My pleasure.
Why didn't you just kill us and take the key?
Why do you trouble the man with such stupid questions? The man has to make sure the money is where we say it is.
Shrewd. You sparkle, Shannon. Locker 68. Ain't that what you said?
That's right. Here's the key.
Open it. Open it, Shannon, or this gun in my pocket will go off. Ruin my suit and you.
It's all yours.
$100,000. Let me look at it. It's empty.
Duck, sailor. You ruined your suit coat, kid.
I'll kill you. Where's that money?
You may never know.
I hate to interrupt your moment of glory, Slate, but now may I ask you a question?
Sure. What?
Where is that money?
Oh, did I forget to tell you? I took it back to the hotel. It's on my office floor, spread out.
Oh, you didn't wait for me.
Still there until the cops call for it. Let's go home and take off our shoes, sailor.
Slate,
Uh-huh.
did you see this? The front page of tonight's paper.
Well, Slate Shannon's picture on the front page. I don't like that picture, though.
That's the one I gave to the papers. I like it. What's the matter with it?
I got better pictures than that. This one's in a turtleneck sweater you knitted for me. You can hardly see my face.
Of course you can see your face. See? That's your face.
Why didn't you give him the one of me on the surfboard with the two girls on my shoulder?
Then who'd look at your face?
Come here, sailor. I don't know what I'd do with that. Why didn't you send that portrait of me in the yachting cap and the pipe and the far-away look in my eyes?
Oh, you mean the one you sent to the Lonely Hearts Club?
I didn't... Did you send him that picture?
Yeah. I came back with a rejection slip. Come here, reject.
And so our two stars, Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall, have brought to a close our latest bold venture story. Special music was composed and conducted by David Rose. May we invite you to listen again next week at this time for another exciting adventure starring Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall together in Bold Venture.
We'll hear from James Stewart as the six-shooter right after we hear from Charlie McCarthy, the model boy.
Mr. Bergen Mortimer must make you feel like you failed as a parent.
Well, maybe so, Anita, but I'm plenty proud of Charlie.
Why?
Well, because he won first prize from the Men of Tomorrow Foundation. He's the model boy.
You mean he's modeling foundations?
No. Good evening, Miss Gordon. And don't bother to curtsy.
Oh, Charlie, I think it's wonderful.
Sure.
You being the model boy.
Oh, I really don't think I am. But what's my opinion against thousands?
You must have been very good lately.
Oh, good? I've been so good I stunk. All right.
Well, what did you win, a cup or something?
Oh, no, Anita. He won 2 airplane tickets to Mexico.
Jeepers.
And I'm going with him. Yeah. Into every life a little rain must fall. You know, Charlie, last week President Truman was in Mexico. Yeah, and this week it's me. Oh, you lucky Mexico. Well, we still have our packing to do, remember that?
Oh, I say, Charlie, I'll be glad to lend you my airplane luggage.
Well, thank you, Ray. When can I have it?
Well, just as soon as I run home and take my airplane out of it.
Yeah.
In a moment, you'll hear James Stewart as the six-shooter, just one of the many fine programs brought to you each week on NBC. Tomorrow night, there's top comedy entertainment with The Bob Hope Show, The Phil Harris-Alice Faye Show, and Can You Top This with Senator Ford. Bob Hope delivers rapid-fire comedy routines, while Phil Harris and Alice Faye bring you both mirth and music. It's a great Friday night lineup of comedy programs, all of them heard only on NBC. James Stewart as the six-shooter. The man in the saddle is angular and long-legged. His skin is sun-dyed brown. The gun in his holster is gray steel and rainbow mother of pearl. Its handle, unmarked. People call them both the six-shooter. The NBC Radio Network presents James Stewart as The Six-Shooter, a transcribed series of radio dramas based on the life of Britt Ponsett, the Texas plainsman who wandered through the Western Territories, leaving behind a trail of still-remembered legends.
Halfway Creek sure wasn't much of a town. Oh, that general store and cafe, room and house, and a blacksmith shop. That's about all there was to it. And I'd never figured out where the place got its name, either. It didn't seem to be halfway to anything. As a matter of fact, it was right at the end of the trail from Santa Fe. The only thing further west was a couple of small farms and Gid Bascom's 77 Ranch. That's where I was heading, the 77, to see if I could sign on with Gid for the spring roundup. Oh. Wow, it didn't look like I was going to have to ride out all the way. Oh, boy. Oh. Yeah. Well, there was Gid himself pounding down the main street, 5 or 6 fellows behind him. Well, if he had that many men working for him already, he probably wouldn't have much use for me.
Hey, Brett. Brett Ponce.
Howdy, Gid.
Where in the name of Moses did you come from, Brett?
Oh, no place special. I was laying some railroad track out of Denver for a spell, but then I thought it was about time for me to hit the saddle again.
Well, if you're looking for a job, we can always use an extra hand, can't we, boys?
Well, it's mighty nice of you, Gid. To tell you the truth, I was sort of hoping that you had room for another.
Well, go on, Britt.
Oh. I guess you've got enough help here without me.
Well, my outfit's been growing since you were through here last. But we're stretched clear over to Apache Hill.
You don't say.
Yeah, it takes a lot of riders to cover that much ground.
Yeah, I guess it does.
Oh, come on then, let's go. We're on our way back to the 77 right now.
Mm-hmm. Oh, maybe next roundup, Gid.
What's the matter with you, Britt? You said you were looking for work.
I reckon I'm what changed Ponce's mind, Gid. I reckon he's a little too fancy to ride alongside me.
Huh?
How about it, 6-shooter?
You boys know each other?
We met up.
Yeah.
Well, take it easy, Gid. I'll be saying
Now, hold up a minute, Britt. You go ahead, boys. I'll catch up with you. I want to talk to Ponce.
You're wasting your breath.
I'm still boss of the 77, Clint. I don't need no advice from you.
Sure, Gid, sure.
How about a cup of coffee, Britt?
Oh, thanks. I guess I could use one.
Yeah. Christian ain't the best cook in the world. You can usually get his coffee down without it gagging you.
Chris, you still run the cafe, huh?
Sure. Town ain't changed much, Britt. On the surface, that is.
Oh?
Oh, well, come on in, Mr. Bascom. Come on in.
Hello, Christy. You remember Britt Ponce?
Britt, well, for goodness sakes, when did you get back to town?
Oh, just a little while ago, Christy. You're sure looking well.
Fit as a fiddle, Mr. Ponce. Fit as a fiddle. Now, you both sit down at that table over there, and I'll bring you some of my special for today. Beef stew. I made it fresh this morning.
No, thanks, Christy. We just come in for some coffee.
Why, it's after 4 o'clock. It's practically time for supper.
No, coffee will do the trick for now.
Oh. Well, what about you, Mr. Ponce? A little taste of my stew?
No. I think I'll just stick to coffee, too.
Oh, okay. Well, the pot's on the stove out and back. I'll get it.
No hurry. Well, Britt?
Hmm?
Is Clint right? Is it on account of him you don't want to work for me?
I never said that, Gid.
You sure acted it.
Well, to tell you the truth, I was sort of surprised that you'd hire a man like Clint Sutton.
Britt, I just didn't have no choice.
Oh?
Like I told you, the 77's been growing. When a ranch gets big, well, I guess a man's bound to make enemies. He needs somebody who's handy with a gun around.
Mm-hmm. You never had any enemies before, Gid.
Yeah, well, times are different now, Britt.
What do you mean by that?
Well, you remember those sod busters down by the creek, Perry Waddell and Fred Garver?
Sure.
Well, there's been some new ones move in the last year or so.
Well, that isn't your land along the creek, is it?
No.
Gid?
Never claimed it was. I always figured there was plenty of space around here. Room enough for me and them nesters, too.
Well?
Well, I ain't been like some of the other ranches. You know that, Britt. I ain't never tried to run the sod busters off or burn them out. Live and let live. That's what I always said. I try to practice my preaching, too.
Here's your coffee, gents. Right off the stove. There we are. You sure you won't have nothing else?
Oh, thanks, Christy. Here you go.
No, hold
Keep
on.
your hands
Hold on.
away from your pockets, Britt. I guess I can afford a couple of cups of coffee.
Oh, well, thank you, Mr. Bascom. Say, I've got some bread in the oven, so if you want anything more, you just holler.
Boy.
Better saucer it for a spell. Let it cool off some, huh?
Wow. It's not the heat, it's the taste. Gee whiz, that stuff's
Well, it's as bad as the coffee I make myself. Worse.
Yeah, I guess it's a good thing we didn't order none of Christie's stew. Huh?
Yeah, it is.
Anyway, Britt, about Clint Sutton. Now, there was a good reason for hiring him. They've been stealing my cattle.
What?
Yeah, them nesters.
Now,
there ain't any doubt about it. My tallies are short. After the roundup, I'll know for certain how many they got away with.
Well, now, Gid, it doesn't stand to reason that men like Waddell and Garver would rustle your animals. They're in a rough spot as it is when they're living right next to the edge of your ranch. Well, they must know that you could shove them off of there if you took a mind to it.
I guess they know that all right. Anyway, one of them tried to shoot me.
Were you sure of that?
No, I didn't see who it was, not for certain. But there ain't been any strangers around Halfway Creek lately, so...
Sutton's a stranger.
I hired him after the shooting. I had to have somebody, Britt. My own boys ain't very fast with a gun. They ain't had much experience lately.
Now, Gid, you're just asking for trouble bringing Clint Sutton in here.
Britt, the trouble's already started, and I didn't start it. They did. Of course, if I had known you were coming into town, I wouldn't have taken Clint on.
Well, if what you wanted was a gun, I'm not the man for you. I reckon Clint is.
Well, that's the way you feel, Britt.
That's the way I feel.
Maybe you'll change your mind after things quiet down. Or maybe there won't be a serious mix-up now that them sod busters know that I mean business.
I wouldn't count on that, Gid. Well, thanks for the coffee. Well, it was getting on toward evening now, and I was beginning to feel some hunger pains down the pit of my stomach. Oh, I sure didn't like the idea of sampling Christie Ott's stew, though. I figured I'd be better off to buy some cold grub at the general store, so I headed across the street. Just as I started to go in the front door, I saw somebody staring at me from behind a wagon over to the blacksmith shop. The sun was directly behind him, so I couldn't tell who it was exactly. Not until he came around into the shade.
Britt? That you, Britt?
Huh? Yeah.
Don't you recognize me? Perry Waddell?
Oh, sure, Perry. Oh, the sun was in my eyes. I couldn't see you.
You busy, Britt?
No, not especially.
Well, I'd like to talk to you if you got a minute to spare. Busted one of my wagon wheels this morning. I'm waiting for Sam Todd to see if he can put it together.
Mm-hmm. Well, how have things been going with you, Perry?
Not so good, Britt. Not so good.
Yeah, I was just talking to Gid Bascom. What's behind the trouble, anyway?
Same old story, I reckon. Big ranch, small farms, there just ain't room for 'em both.
There's always plenty of room before. Perry, Gid tells me that some of his cattle are missing.
Oh, that's just his excuse to get rid of us.
Uh-huh.
And I ain't no thief, Brett.
Oh, of course not, Perry. But I understand that there've been some new families moving in, is that right?
Any farmer who'd steal from Gid's herd, he'd be plumb loco. He'd just be asking for Gid to burn him out.
Yeah, that's true enough.
I suppose Gid told you somebody took a shot at him, too, and said it was one of us.
He mentioned something about it, yeah.
He just needed a reason for bringing that Clint Sutton in here. Clint's a killer, pure and simple. Ain't bad enough that Gid wants our land. He's got to hire a gunfighter to take it away from us.
Well, Gid never objected to your farms before, Perry.
There was always plenty of other land waiting for him. Now he's pushed his ranch clear to Apache Hill. He can't go no farther in that direction, so he's got to spread east. And we're in his way.
It just somehow doesn't sound like Gid. He sure seems sincere when I talk to him. Now, I'm almost certain he believes somebody's been rustling his cattle.
Britt, I swear to you that I never so much as laid a hand on any of his stock.
Well, that's none of my concern, Perry. I'm leaving town anyway.
Oh, you can't leave, Britt. You got to stay here.
I what?
You're the only man who can stand up to Bascom. And Sutton.
Oh, now hold on, Perry.
We couldn't pay you much, but we'd all chip in and give you what we can.
I told Gid I'm not a hired gun. I'm going to tell you the same thing.
Britt, my farm's all I've got in this world. I spent 21 years trying to build it up into something that'd mean a decent living for my wife and kids. Nobody's going to take it away from me now.
Well, I understand that. Well, look at that. Looks like somebody's in a rush, huh?
It's Ruth Lovett.
Oh?
Oh, he's homesteading the place right next to mine. Roof, what's your hurry?
I gotta see you, Perry.
Sure?
Yeah, but it's real important.
Well, I was just going into the store anyway, so
No
I'll see
need
you
for
later.
you to rush off, Britt. Roof, this here's Britt Ponsett. You can speak your mind in front of him.
Six-shooter?
That's right.
Well, real pleased to meet you, Mr. Ponsett.
Howdy.
Now, what's all the fuss about, Roof?
They're gonna burn us out tonight, Perry.
You
What?
sure?
Yeah, one of Gid's own men told me.
Well, I was just talking to Gid just a little while ago, Roof. He never had any intention then.
Yeah, maybe he's changed his mind since then, Mr. Ponsett, or maybe he didn't feel like advertising what he's up to. Now, Perry, we got to get together, all us farmers.
Oh, sure, Roof, sure. We'll hold them off.
Hold 'em off? Why, we wouldn't have a chance against a man like Clint Sutton.
Well, we got to do something. We got to fight back.
Yeah, we'll fight back all right, but on their own ground.
What do you mean?
Well, they'll be riding toward our farms tonight, Gid and all his boys. There won't be a soul over at the 777.
Yeah?
We'll show Gid Bascom he ain't gonna have everything his way. We'll burn him out while he's burning us.
Oh, Roof,
Now, I sure don't see what you'll accomplish by that, Roof.
Why, Gid'll think twice before he tries to shove somebody else around. That's what we'll accomplish.
Maybe so, but it won't save your farm.
Well, what else can we do?
Well, you might try talking to Gid, see if you can find out what's eating.
Talk's a waste of time.
Oh, I don't know, Roof. Maybe he'll listen to reason.
Has he ever listened to us before?
Well...
Besides, what about Clint Sutton? Who's going to reason with that gun of his?
Yeah, I kind of forgot about Clint. Britt?
Now, Perry...
Britt, talking to Gid is your idea.
Yeah, I know it is. I know, but Oh, doggone it, Perry. All right, I'll see if I can head him off. Now, you and Roof go back to your farm. Stay put, huh?
Okay, Mr. Ponsett.
You don't know how much this means to us, Britt.
Yeah, I see. Got it. Maybe someday I'll learn to keep my doggone ideas to myself.
We'll return to James Stewart as the six-shooter in just a moment. If you're of teenage or up, a loyal American, male or female, your country needs you in the Civilian Ground Observer Corps. You've heard the radio broadcasts, seen the television pictures. You know the facts. You know what a single H-bomb dropped in any metropolitan area could do. And today's long-range bombers have made intercontinental war possible. Enemy planes based on the other side of the world could reach the United States in a matter of hours. Radar can help detect them, but there are dangerous gaps through which low-flying planes can penetrate without detection. To fill out our detection system, civilian personnel is needed, particularly along the east and west coasts and in the northern states. Sky watching is not a game, it's a necessary precaution. The Ground Observer Corps is now operating on a 24-hour-a-day basis and needs at least 200,000 volunteers to contribute a few hours of their spare time to this vital work. Will you volunteer? Get in touch with your local Civilian Defense Center at once. Now, Act 2 of The Six-Shooter, starring James Stewart as Britt Ponsett.
Gid Bascom's ranch house is about a 3-hour ride from town, so around about 8 o'clock I figure I was halfway there. The moon was just beginning to silver up the top of Apache Hill. I hadn't been too sure of the trail, but now that things were lightening up some, I gave Scar a little nudge. Come on, let's go. Come on. It was real sandy country. A clump of purple sage every now and then, once in a while a pine tree or two. And we must have covered about 4 miles, and then we came to a little creek. From there on, the trail started to wind into a kind of a jagged ravine with a couple of tall yellow rocks at the mouth, sort of sticking up straight in the air like a couple of fingers. We were just getting past those rocks when I heard what sounded like about a half a dozen horses coming toward me. Whoa, boy, whoa. Whoa, Scar. I pulled up and waited. Oh. Howdy, Gid.
Easy, boy.
What are you doing out here, Britt?
Oh, I just thought I might come out and take a look at the 777.
Some other time.
You, in a hurry to go somewhere?
That's right, we're in a hurry.
Oh, hello, Clint.
Come on, Gid, we ain't got all night.
Right.
You mind telling me where you're heading, Gid?
Look, I offered you a job this afternoon. You turned me down. I don't see where anything I do from here on in is your concern.
No, it sure isn't. But I was just noticing, and it looks to me like you've got the whole crew with you.
What if I have?
Well, it must be something kind of important to take you all the way out here, away from the ranch this time of night.
We're going to burn out a bunch of thieving rustlers. Is that important enough for you, Ponset?
Clint!
Well, you might as well know it. He can't do nothing to stop us.
What happened, Ged? You weren't planning anything like this when I talked to you a little while ago.
Clint found 5 of my steers over in a canyon behind one of them farms.
Well, maybe your steers got lost. Maybe they just strayed over that way.
And hobbled themselves?
Well, even so, it seems to me like this is a matter for the law.
There ain't no sheriff in Halfway Creek. You know that, Britt.
Well, there's a sheriff at Bixby Falls. Somebody go over and get him.
You get him if you want him, Ponset. We got other things to do.
No.
Come on, Gid.
No, I wouldn't let Clint hurry me if I was you, Gid.
What difference does it make?
It might make a lot of difference. Seeing as how those farmers were talking about paying you back if you go after them.
I'd sure like to know what they could do.
Well, they sort of had an idea that they could burn down the 777.
What? Well, they sure must want to get themselves killed.
Uh-huh. It doesn't look to me like there'd be anybody there to kill him, Sutton.
Look, he's lying. He's just trying to stall us.
Do you think I'm lying, Gid?
Turn around, boys. We're going back to the ranch.
Well, you're crazy, Gid. Them nesters wouldn't be
I
fooling
said
us.
turn around. Now, let's go.
Well, I watched him for a minute or two, moving along through the ravine, heading back to the 777. I could hear Clint arguing with Gid, and Gid didn't seem to be paying much attention to him. Then I swung Scar around toward Halfway Creek. Must have been about 30 minutes later when we came down to a narrow stretch of trail that twisted down the side of the cliff. Easy, boy. Easy. The moon was sliding under a thick milk-white cloud, and the rocks and the trees started fading into night shadows. For a minute or so, everything got real still. Even the crickets. Somebody else was taking the same trail. Sounded like he was following me. I got a kind of a crickly feeling across the back of my neck. I started wondering maybe Clint Sutton. I twisted around to see if I could get a look. I had to squint my eyes, but finally I made out the shape of a horse about 40 feet back. He was just standing there nibbling on a couple of tufts of grass. Wasn't anybody in the saddle. And right then the cloud over the moon started skidding away and the trees began coming back to size. I was just about to give Scar a touch of the spur when I saw him, crouching low behind a clump of pines. I saw something else, too, a little glint of metal. Whoever it was had a gun. I jerked out of the saddle and hit the ground. Looked around for cover. His aim was close. It was too darn close. Well, it couldn't be Sutton. I knew Clint's style of gunplay. He might miss one shot. He wouldn't miss twice. And then I spotted a little gully a few feet to my left, and I crawled toward it, keeping as low as I could. I was almost there before he had a chance to fire again. When he did, I started rolling, and I tumbled down into the draw. I took out my gun. I was hoping he'd think he'd hit me, that his bullet had sent me over the side. I couldn't hear him move. I pressed flat, and I pulled up behind a couple of big tumbleweeds. I sort of cut down my chance of him spotting me. And he was coming now. He was going to be at the edge of the gully in a couple more steps. I shoved my gun up and sort of gauged where I thought he'd show. Then a leg came into sight. Not more than 6 feet away. And then his body swung up into view. And just before he fired, he went down on his knees fast. I swung out of the way, and his bullet cut through one of the tumbleweeds. I gave it a shove, and the wind sort of caught it. He fired again, but he wasn't firing at me now. He's firing at the weed. And he He had to rise up into sight to get aim. My bullet slapped him on the shoulder, and for a minute he sort of hung in midair and teetering on the edge of the draw. And then he pitched forward and toppled down beside me. And I turned him over. I got a look at his face. What? Well, what the thunder are you trying to do, Ruth? You should have been able to recognize me. It wasn't as dark as all that.
I recognized you, Ponce.
What?
You shouldn't have meddled in this. Gid would have burned us out if it hadn't been for you stopping him.
Well, you wanted him to burn you out?
It's going to happen anyway, ain't it? Sooner or later.
Well, not if Gid isn't forced into it.
Big ranchers don't need no forcing.
What are you talking about? I don't understand you, Ruth. It was your farm he was going to burn. You're talking like that you hoped it would happen.
I think I care about that farm. I had me a farm once down in Texas. Real good soil, brown, soft, rich, plenty of water, too. A man could grow anything on that land.
Oh, what happened to it?
Well, there was a ranch. Bigger than Gid's outfit, even. But it wasn't big enough. Not big enough to suit the fellow owned it. He kept stretching out, crawling down from the hills, moving his fences closer and closer till one day they was right up against my property. He offered to buy me out. He offered me good money, but it was my farm. I didn't want to sell no matter what he was willing to pay me.
Here, come on, now. Pull out your shirt, too. I'll try and see if I can get that bleeding to stop.
Yeah.
You think you'll be able to ride?
I don't know. Give me a couple of minutes.
Oh, sure. Well, go on now. You were telling me about your farm down in Texas.
Ain't much more to tell. I wouldn't sell it. Nancy, she was my wife. She told me I was wrong. I'd have to give in, but I didn't listen to her. I should have listened and burned us out.
I see.
I wasn't there when it happened. I was in town. Nancy, she tried to stop him. He killed her.
Oh, I'm sorry, Lovett.
He killed her and left her there in the house while they burned it. Couldn't even give her a decent burial. There was...
No, take it easy, Ruth.
Don't matter what becomes of me, Ponce, not anymore. After Nancy... Well, afterwards I come up here to New Mexico. Figured maybe I could start over, maybe things would be different, but there wasn't no different. There's always a ranch and a fellow like Gid Bascom to shove you around. I watched him spreading out clear to Apache Hills, and then when he couldn't go no further in that direction, I knowed he'd be coming my way. Well, I wasn't just going to sit around and wait for him like I'd done before.
So you stole Gid's cattle? Is that what you're saying?
Didn't have nothing to lose. I was going to be burned out anyways. I even took a shot at him, but I ain't much good with a gun. I guess I kind of showed that tonight.
Well, it wasn't Gid that burned you out down in Texas, Ruth.
Luke was a rancher just like Gid. They're all the same, Ponce, with their grabbing, burning, and killing. I figured if I stirred up enough trouble to force Gid out in the open, maybe then some of the other farmers would come along with me and we'd burn him up. He'd get a taste of his own medicine. I'd be paying Gid back for what he'd done to Nancy.
But, Ruth, I
can still see how it was that night. Smoke and ashes everywhere. First, I couldn't believe it that they'd killed her. I started to holler until my throat was so sore the sound just wouldn't come out no more. But she didn't answer me. I thought maybe she'd run off somewhere as they'd scared her, and she'd run away, and I saw her. Over behind a pile of smoking timbers. Her clothes was all burned out. That's what he'd done. That's what Gid had done.
That wasn't Gid Bascom. Now, get a hold of yourself.
I've got to make it up for Nancy. I got to burn the 777.
And you're coming to town with me.
Town?
Come on now. Can you stand up?
I guess so. Who are you?
You come along. Now, here, let me give you a hand.
Well, what about Luke Harper?
Luke Harper?
You ain't been listening to me. I told you I got to get even with Harper for killing my wife. That's what I was going to do tonight, burn down his ranch. Now, I told you.
I know, yeah. Now, you told me. But you just better forget about that for now.
Well, I couldn't forget, not ever.
Come on, Ruth. Come on, you and me are going to town.
Huh?
Here, I'll help you on your horse here. Come on.
Thanks, mister. Thanks a lot. You've been real kind to... It's funny. There's something wrong with my shoulder. Somebody shot me. Did Luke Harper do that, mister?
Maybe he did, Roof. In a way. Maybe he did. I took Roof as far as Perry Waddell's house, and Perry went in to get the doc. It looked like Roof was going to be all right. At least it looked like he'd get over that wound in the shoulder. But whether he'd really ever get well again, I guess even the doctor couldn't tell that. The next morning, Gid Bascom rode into town and found out what had happened. He said he was willing to forget about the stolen cattle and the other trouble Roof had caused him. And he said he'd get rid of Clint Sutton, too. He didn't come right out and admit it, but I've got a hunch he was kind of sorry that he'd hired Sutton in the first place. It just goes to show you there's differences in ranchers like anything else.
The Six Shooter is a transcribed NBC radio network production in association with Review Productions. It is written by Frank Burt and is based on a character created by him. Mr. Stewart may currently be seen in the Universal International picture The Glenn Miller Story. Others in the cast were Lamont Johnson, Gerald Moore, Bob Griffin, Parley Bear, and Howard McNear. Special music for this program was by Basil Adlin, and the entire production is under the direction of Jack Johnstone. All characters and incidents were fictitious, and any resemblance to actual characters or incidents is purely coincidental. Oh, by the way, you'll be interested in knowing that the Six Shooter has been chosen for broadcast to our men overseas through the facilities of the Armed Forces Radio Service. This is Hal Gibney speaking. Hearing Time brings you highlights from the Senate committee hearings tonight on the NBC Radio Network.
That's it for this week. We'll be back next week with more old-time radio. I hope you can join us then. Till then, this is Jim Dolan thanking you for listening. The RTC Weekly Download is produced by Chris Stone and Jim Dolan.